So we got team fight. She can blink in, and we saw the damage there on the Nyx assassin, even without the Deso. Certainly make it happen.
Oh, the Alchemist Dream, the little skeleton spawners. Let's go, troll summoners. That's like an additional like 2 full creeps per out.
Yeah, that had been like in the game forever, I feel. Just the fact that ever since Alchemist got that skill, it was like, oh, you always want to get those neutral camps that have the extra spawns. Here we have a shift from GeekFam towards the bottom lane. Zephyr leading out the charge. Wards to the high ground. They'll see Boomy nearby. Do they want to commit? He's a little out of reach. And he already goes into his ult and heads up the other side.
There is something I should mention, by the way, with something that changed with the Alk's ulti is like Chemical Rage no longer gives you mana regen. So illusion-based heroes absolutely wreck you. Like PL, Naga, when it comes to like the later phases of the game, you feel really good playing against those, or you feel really bad playing against those types of heroes as Alchemist. Like they will start to outskill you when your BKB gets low. So the first timing of the BKB for Mac is going to be massive. But he does get it at 12.5 minutes. We said like, what, 12 to 13, he'll be all right. So just right in the middle there.
And what about the Lone Druid? I feel like most of the attention has been on the Alchemist for them. I'm looking over Lone Druid's items. It's nothing to really get excited over. It feels like he could just quickly be overshadowed. Is there any chance for him to be really relevant in this game, or is it just feels like Alchemist is the star of the show?
I think Alk has to be the star of the show.
Okay.
There's something really bad about this game too, is like Mac really has no one to give Ags to. There is no excellent Ags target. It might actually be Clockwork is your best bet for giving Ags to. Nyx is really good too, I guess, but that's like because your Nyx is already so poor. Like he doesn't have levels. Boomy is level 6 at 13 minutes. You need levels for that item, and so I feel like your 2 cores don't benefit from it as much as a lot of other cores do. It's not like you've got like a Zeus on your team or something.
Yeah.
So for me anyways, the attention kind of has to be on the Alk. Like he himself has to win this game. If it gets to the point where he's giving out Ags to everybody, I feel like they'll have lost at that
bottom
point.
Jump in, hook shot, all for Zephyr. Be an easy snipe. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much right there with you. I think that makes the decisions a bit easier if Adroit feel like they're going to be on the offensive. Clockwork feels like a great candidate for the Ags to get those hookshot steps. Maybe later on, if they find themselves in a defensive position on the high ground, Nyx could certainly make a lot of use out of that Ags. Meanwhile, mid lane, CML sniped down. Jumping from Carl there with the DD.
I just think that at that point the game's over.
Yeah, I mean, if they're on the defensive high ground, then it's already not looking so good, I imagine.
We're going 90 minutes against a Naga. Let's go.
Yeah, later as it goes, it only gets better for GeekFam. But that's kind of a bit of how it was last game, too. Here we'll see Adroit just not letting up one bit, and the GeekFam turf, but they see all the TPs and they decide to pump the brakes.
I really like how they play, though. These like timing-based, like, if we get to this point of the game, you just straight up lost. I always love those games, like race against the clock.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like the old school, like anti-mage, can you slow him down before he gets Battle Fury Manta?
So you'll see teams pick like the heavy push, a Pugnas, or some kind of lineup that just wants to siege forward and end it out within that prime window of 25 to 30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
But then when the clock starts going past that, you just really want to cry.
Can you imagine, by the way, if Adroit got Shovel? Oh, and this is a really early rush. I like this play a lot. They need to do something like this to push the tempo of the game. They've got Deso. I don't think they're in a position where they can fight this either. GeekFam are well set up for this. And I think Adroit are well aware this is going to buy them some time, and that's what they need.
Is how much of a hero is Bach feeling right here? They're blocking it.
Look at this. They're patrolling back and forth.
Nah, not even going to give them the chance. Nice positional awareness there from Raven and Whitemon. They're just not even allowing the sneaky Grand Theft Asias. Oh, speaking of Philosopher's Stones, it does pop up.
That's on one.
But you're right, that shovel. I mean, certainly if it still digs up bounty runes, I imagine that's got to be just really the chef's kiss there for Alchemist.
Yeah. And we'll see if pro players' theory are proven right if GeekFam gets a Philosopher's Stone of their own for their Disruptor.
And
The
here's a
illusion rune there.
fortification from Radiant.
Maybe sniped up from Mac. Meanwhile, Raven still, you know, doing his thing as Naga top lane, now able to secure the Manta. Can't sleep on Naga. I know it's the Alk show, but if Adroit are not able to flourish, not able to kind of push the objective forward, that Naga could be a problem later on. Here they are, bottom lane, creeping around this tier 2, getting about halfway down. Adroit waiting on the high ground here.
They're getting sandwiched right now. You're not going to like this position if you're GeekFam.
Bump him back. Oh, the disruption, though, is there, and the song comes out. Where's the disruption ulti? Where's the disruptor ulti? It's going to get dropped right on top of him. With the wall, they blow up the Nyx. Clock's going to be next. Natsumi trying to fight forward.
They're getting
Mac
kited.
is just caught in the mix. Can't do anything about it. He's forced to bail out, and this one's looking all GeekFam here. Couple of stragglers able to make it away on the Adroit side. That could have been way more catastrophic, but GeekFam, they rotate over and they hold the line.
Thought that was going to be really good for Adroit for a second. I thought they were going to get the 6 sandwich, but instead, GeekFam, like, they were perfect with their positioning and their spell usage. They instantly dropped that sleep. They're like, we're not even going to bother going for the Alk. He's got BKB, but we can maybe get somebody even more important here. And that's...
Jump in, as you see, and all the defensive tools coming out. Oh, they're going to get sleep and such.
Look,
But
there's
there is-
time. That's
yeah,
3.
they just slapped down in the live game. A triple kill for Mac as he's able to slash them apart. You just missed that action, but I assure you, it was quick, fast, and in a hurry.
He slap chopped him.
Cog, and then Mac just chopped him up.
And this is the dangerous part is, I'd say until like 5-6 seconds of BKB timer, you're not really going to feel comfortable playing against this Alk. And even then, he really only needs this BKB to be able to survive against the Naga Disruptor combo. And like Static Storm, what, it lasts for 5 seconds? That's perfect BKB. He needs damage though. He needs like AC Abyssal to be really effective in this game.
We'll see if they're going to be permitted the time to be able to build it up and farm. GeekFam just sliding their way back out from the base after that recent 1-2 punch. Adroit, who had come up a bit short in that bottom lane push, are able to kind of get reins back. And this game's feeling a little neck and neck, at least if you're looking at the net worth, if you're looking at the score. We know that Alk is the biggest boy on the block, at least for the time being.
This Lone Druid needs items.
But yeah, the Lone Druid is unfortunately still that shadow of a core. He even falls behind the Clockwork in terms of net worth. And speaking of Clock, not able to quite catch his hook
That would
target.
be massive. They can kill him twice there in that position.
TA just out past the river could have been in trouble, but the opportunity's now gone. But GeekFam are also looking for opportunities themselves. They want to make some use. Looks like out of this Aegis when possible. All their ults are back up if they want to try to wombo combo it. Or do you think it's best for GeekFam to reserve the song for cases like we saw in the bottom lane and keep it more reactionary?
Have to save it for...
Have to save it?
I think unless you find like all 3 clumped up like this, what are you doing?
There they go. How about this for reactionary? They move on in. They set up the song onto 3. There's the Static Storm. The Lesh begins to
But they're not
unload.
in position.
They pop the blade mail. It's
could
not
be
a
okay
lot
for
of
them.
damage. Adroit just looking to fight it back now, shoving Carl backing out. And Snare flies forward. Cuckoo tries to step in, gets the stun, but he is just getting mauled by the bear.
They're catching more here.
Jump in now. Beautiful setup from Bach. Bump back onto Carl. Carl can't make it away, and that's going to be the Aegis down.
They got to time the stun here.
Coming in from behind, Zephyr,
They
Whitemon,
got
and
him.
Raven, and they to make it to bail out the TA. They could lose their own life trying to escape. Could be disaster for GeekFam. They lose another. A buyback was forced from Cuckoo. Oh, it's going to cost them a lot. Adroit, big winners here. Pull off. They've expended a lot, but the glimpse, GeekFam trying to snipe something down.
They really want to make this buy. This is one of those like buyer's remorse. We have to make this buyback worth it, and it's just not going to be. Now I want to watch the replay of that because I felt like that was going to go so well for them at first. I think the rest of their back or their front line just wasn't in position to lay out damage because in the previous fight they caught 2 heroes. A 3-on-5 fight is just as good as any, right? If you get the numbers advantage here, you're going to be so happy about this. So they dropped the ulti on 2, but then Cuckoo, I'm not sure what ends up happening. He doesn't even cast his stun for some reason, and then he just kind of runs away and dies.
Yeah, very awkward. It looked like a beautiful setup. The stack storm was there. You said, you know, Cuckoo a little off on the draw, but outside of him, like, there's no damage really being offered there. I didn't see, like, TA just slashing the team apart or anything like that.
You have to hard commit for that fight, and it felt like they just backpedaled way too soon. I think they got cold feet. They were like, something is going wrong with this fight, and a large part of it is, like, Cuckoo was way too hesitant on that stun. Just lay out. If you miss, you miss, but there is a timing where you let off the sleep and you can get it off 100%. That was rough. They really needed that fight. I thought their positioning there was sick. It was going to be the perfect timer. Like, their Aegis was just about to fade. They would have gotten one more fight out of it.
Unfortunately, that's got to be a bit of a hit to the morale, too, for him, because that's one of the better setups you can ask for, and that skyrockets the Alchemist that much further ahead. But down and not shaken. GeekFam pop the smoke, and they say, we got to get back into it. We got to get these hands dirty if we want a chance at pulling this one back. Eyeballing the mid lane. Disruption's there. And he just pops the BKB now. Even gets the helpful glimmer.
I kind of like that move. I'd rate that move like a B. Solid B. You don't get a kill, but I think at this point, lowering Alchemist BKB charges is probably better than, like, killing Ench.
Yeah, they were all at least concise in their agreement that, you know, it's not happening. Let's go back. Let's find something else to do for the time being, and maybe we can force another charge down later. So to the attention of the bottom lane as they siege forward and finish off what looks like this tier 1 tower.
Bottom tower has fallen.
I do notice one thing from GeekFam stylistically. It feels as though they want every play to be worth it. Like, when they go for that Naga combo, even if, like, it doesn't look like the ideal fight, they're like, oh, well, we've got to try. Then all of a sudden, Cuckoo buys back, and they're still chasing forward to try to, like, make it worth it. They pop that smoke, and they're like, well, at the very least, we have to get him to pop his BKB. Like, we're getting something at all times, or we want to try to get something at all times.
And over here,
Seems like they're really reluctant to just kind of be like, that was an okay trade.
look at Dire's bottom tower, Jax.
Right now, as they push through the bottom lane, looking to get some damage done onto the tier 2. We have Adroit pushing their own tier 1 top. Successful there. Song, though, comes out. Raven moves all the way up, goes for the Bearman himself, and the Fall Stack Storm is there. But is the damage. He just gets the easy glimmer, and they shift their focus instead onto Natsumi's Bear. It's taken quite a bit of effort, but they'll finally bring it down.
They've got numbers now, and the hook shot barely misses. That would have been huge. Short. Cuckoo had no buyback.
A glimpse back as well onto Boomy so that the chase couldn't be there. It's a bear. It's not the worst thing in the world, as a new bear is available now. And they get right back to work, now going for the tier 2.
And Roshan, it will spawn in 40 seconds. That's going to be massive for them.
Yeah, and there's no song for the time being. There's no Stag Storm for the time being.
They're going to lose the bear.
And that could be big. The bear was just on cooldown, but looks like he's able to make it out.
Oh, man. Dakota, they are not setting up this combo perfectly, though.
Things looking a little rusty-crusty for GeekFam this day. But let's see if it's speaking too soon. Grabs the arcane